What is up, everybody? In today's episode, we're going to be sanding some 200-year-old cedar for this guy's restaurant. I don't know how it's going to turn out. I really honestly don't know what I'm doing. Let's go for it. So if you can actually see, this is actually what we're trying to get. So if you see these lines are actually still from the planer that we used when we got these boards flat. So what we're trying to do is actually just get these lines out, because these will show if we don't do that. So when we clear coat, if we were to clear coat it just like this, that line would be super prominent. So we actually have to get that out before we can do it. So let's do that right now. Now, see, now that line's gone away. Now it's completely smooth. We've got somewhat of a line right there, but that line's actually still from the wood itself. So that's not that big a deal, but now it's completely smooth, and this will actually clear a whole lot better. So now we need to do the whole entire beam just like that. So let's do it. So now that we've got everything sanded down, it's nice and smooth, it's exactly what we need it to be. Now it's a little bit dirty and we need to clean it, so let's do some blow. Alrighty, so now we've got everything sanded, it's all nice and pretty. Now we need to seal it. And the whole objective of sealing it is to actually prevent bubbles, or at least help prevent bubbles, or keep them to a minimum when we do our flood coat. So what we're going to do is we're going to just generously apply some polyurethane to this top coat. It's actually going to get it nice and shiny. It's not going to level it like it will when we pour our epoxy, but it's going to get us to somewhat of a decent finish, and we can kind of see what it's going to look like. If this stuff stinks, I do advise wearing a gas mask, but I don't have one, so we're not going to. Alrighty, so now that we've got this all sealed up, it's still wet, yes, but that's okay. What we're going to do now is actually fill in this with some epoxy. This epoxy is the glaze coat from, I can't pronounce that name. It's actually from Sherwin-Williams. It's a new product. I've actually never really used it before, so we're going to see how this one turns out. I think it should be fine. It's a two-part epoxy, so it should be just like any other tabletop epoxy. So what we'll do is we'll mix 1 to 1, and then we'll put some, I don't know, black dye in the epoxy. We'll mix it all together, and then we'll pour it in these cracks, just to, not all the cracks, just in between each board. That way it kind of covers up some of the silicone sealant that we have in between each board. That way, you know, it doesn't go everywhere. Just to get it kind of coat like all, makes it look like one unit. I guess if that makes sense. So let's do it. So let's mix us up some epoxy, and hopefully we'll stay clean. Got everything done, so that's good. So now we need to let this dry, probably overnight, definitely maybe for 2 days or 3 days or 4 days. Definitely overnight though. Let it dry, let the epoxy settle and sit. We do need to seal it some more, probably with some black caulk, just that way when we do our top coat it doesn't seep through, because right now we've got some epoxy, it's drinking pretty bad, and it's actually seeping down into the cracks in this wood. But that's a problem for another day, and that's it for this episode. So if you like what you see, be sure to hit subscribe on this channel, and let us know what you'd like us to maybe build. Like if you got some suggestions on what you want to see us build or do, let us know. But until next time, keep your wood hard.